All right, the number one source of business for real estate agents. If you're not doing this right, you are leaving money on the table. You're leaving business on the table. What could it be? Hey, everybody, Mike Ferrante here with LPT Realty and the Mike team, based out of Solon, Ohio. We're real estate agents serving Greater Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, all the way down to Central Ohio, Mount Vernon, Columbus, and Apple Valley Lake. I always like to mention that because it's a beautiful place and hoping to get out on the boat. There's Mike Pillow right there. You see his waterfront property there. That's where we're going to be boating. So anyway, what the heck could the number one source of business be? We'll get to that in a second. Want to let you guys know, go to 21mike.com, click that button at the top to schedule an appointment with me or someone on the team. And of course, we do these weekly trainings Tuesdays, 11:30 or so, and we record them and put them on YouTube, Facebook. Hi, Facebook, Facebook Live. And we put the audio on our podcast, Free Beer and Real Estate. And if you have a topic you'd like us to cover, hit me up at mike@21mike.com. We're going to do 5 weeks of scripts. So this week, you probably guessed it, it's sphere of influence. And you're like, Mike, why? I don't need help talking to my sphere of influence. Well, I would push back and say that, first of all, because it's the number one source of business, we really need to do it right. And here's the objection that I get when I ask agents, well, are you working your sphere? They say, well, I've already talked to all of them, or I don't know what to say, or I feel funny asking the people I know for business. Have you guys said any of those objections? And if so, do you have a coach or a team lead or broker or manager or someone who pushes back? Because I do not accept those excuses. Okay, it's still the number one source of business. We worry about Google and GEO. Oh, are buyers and sellers finding me on ChatGPT? Are they finding my website? Are they Mike Pillow? Are they getting my postcards? Are they finding me at the events? Yes, those things are all important, and those are pillars of our business. And we're going to work on some of those scripts too, by the way, for sale by owners, expireds. We're going to work on open house scripts. So these are all really important things. But why would you not maximize something that is between 60 and 70% of the average agent's business? So I'm going to answer some of these objections that I think you have. Okay, let's start with the I don't know what to say. If you're saying every time, hey, Scott, do you know anyone buying or selling this year? Of course, that's going to get old. Okay, and if that's what you're doing, I get it. Okay, you don't know what to say. Your sphere is tired of hearing from you. That's because you're saying the same old thing. Do you know anyone looking to buy or sell? First, as we always talk about, I would lead with value. I would ask questions. I would ask, what do you need? It's interesting how the course of a conversation can lead to a referral. I can't tell you how many. I'll give you an example here. I was talking to a guy on the phone, and this was about a rental for his girlfriend. And the next thing you know, I'm just having a real estate conversation with this guy. Okay. And he starts telling me about his 20 investment properties. 20 investment properties. This is a guy who needs to become part of my sphere. I can help him acquire more investment properties. And one day, what's he going to do with them? He's probably going to sell them eventually. But it's just a matter of having real conversations with people. So there's something called the Ford script. These acronyms, they figure we're in real estate and we need acronyms to remember things. And, the Ford script is real simple. It's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams and hopes. Okay. They had to work the D in there because hopes and dreams didn't fit the acronym. And yeah, you guys who are here, if you have to run, I appreciate you being here. And sorry we started a little late today. But of course, we're recording this. And as I said, you can get on YouTube, Facebook, pretty much anywhere and get the recording. But the Ford script is a good kind of place to set your head. If you are struggling, I hate to think that we need a script to talk to people that we know, but that's where it should always start, right? These are people who are part of our sphere, their friends, their family, their clients. Remember, we don't say past clients here on our team and in this room. Everybody's always a client. There's no such thing as a past client. They're your client, then they're your future client because they're going to transact again. The crazy thing is we were at a Tom Ferry event, and while 72% of people said they would use the same agent again, only about 12% actually do. And what does that mean? That means that someone else is capturing business from your sphere, and it's because you aren't talking to them enough. Emails and texts are okay, but we should be talking to our sphere 3 to 4 times a year. And that's a phone call, that's an in-person meeting, that's a coffee. Now, in addition to having these one-to-one conversations, we can talk a little bit about group conversations, but let's finish the scripts first. So you got the Ford script. You're struggling to come up with what to talk about. Remember, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. The other thing is that whole expression of value. Hey, what do you need? You've been in the house 5 years now. Do you have any projects coming up? Do you have any questions? Do you need any referrals? I once heard a speaker say, if your clients are using Google, then you failed. You should be Google for your clients. Remember that. You should be Google for your clients. You should be offering assistance to them. And here's the other thing you can do. If you have gaps in your Google search, ask them. Hey, I saw you did that awesome landscaping project. Who did you use? I'd love to add them to my database. And what's interesting about that, I know we're saying, hey, offer value, but tell me if you don't think this is true. When someone gives you a gift, do you think they feel good about that? I know I do. I know people like to give. They like that feeling of, hey, I helped Mike out. And so when I ask for a referral, first of all, hey, who was that landscaper? I need an accountant. Do you know a good real estate attorney? I'd like to talk to a real estate attorney because I'd like to network with them. People feel good when they give you these referrals. And I want to take that one step further. I'm going to use an example of something that's lower priced because I think many of us real estate agents have a hard time wrapping our minds around this, but we feel like we're overextending, like we're going into a space where, hey, we really shouldn't be doing this. I feel funny asking Scott or Ruel or Fred for a referral because they're giving me something. Hey, can you give me something? Here's the thing though, think of a lower priced item. Let's say that Fred knows a great landscaper. And I said to Fred, hey, Fred, I'm just looking for someone to cut my grass every week and I can't find anybody. And don't you think Fred would be jumping to get into his phone and saying, oh, yeah, my guy's great. He's great. Here's his name and number. And he's giving a referral to me, helping me, but also helping out his landscaper. Don't you think he feels good about that? So get it out of your head that you're like crossing some line by asking your sphere to help you. Okay. Ask them for referrals of contractors and professionals and ask them for referrals of buyers and sellers. Now, one of the scripts I want to give you, this is a concept that I got from BNI, the Business Networking International Group, is that we should never be asking for referrals from the body family. Anybody selling, somebody looking to buy. The body family is right out. It's too general because when I ask you, hey, do you know anybody looking to do this? You have to rack your brain, right? So the concept of BNI is the same as a funnel. Okay. The further down the funnel you can get, the more it gets people thinking. So I might say something like, hey, Ashok, I am looking for a buyer. I'm looking for a buyer client. And in fact, right now, I have a $1 million ranch listing in Moreland Hills. One floor living, new construction. It's gorgeous. Would you have anybody for that? And what happens, the brain is an interesting place, at least my brain is, I've been told. What happens is it gets Ashok's brain working. And instead of just saying, hey, do you know anybody looking to buy? He now starts saying, oh, wow, a ranch. You know what? Actually, I know some doctors, because I know he does. I know some doctors, and they're actually looking to get to some one floor living. And maybe that price range is out, but you know what? I do know somebody I'd like to introduce you to. And I've seen it work the other way too, where, you know what, Mike, I don't know someone looking for $1 million home, but I know this guy who's looking to sell some investment properties or a buyer, first time buyer looking for some down payment assistance. I was just telling them that you might be able to help. But the thing is, we've got to get their brains working, we've got to get their brains moving. The body family is right out. Take that out of your vocabulary. All right, so we covered the Ford script. We covered getting specific. Okay. Now, how to get over that fear of talking to your sphere? I think one of the best ways is to come from the place of giving. Okay. Come up with whatever it is, your once a year giveaway. We do Pi Day around the holidays. Mike Pillow has little giveaways that he has. We could do pop buys if you're a Brian Buffini fan. Mike, I'm going to ask you to unmute in a second and tell me about some of your pop by gifts. I actually have some of the magnets right here. I'm going to grab one out of my briefcase, but just popping by to say hi. Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I have a little gift for you. I'd like to pop by and say hi. And as this one trainer told us, it's like, look, think of your sphere as a bank. You can't make a withdrawal from the bank until you make some deposits. Okay. And sure, you served them in the past, maybe. Maybe you gave them referrals. Okay. But then every time you ask for something from them, that's a withdrawal. So you have to constantly be making deposits as well. And that could just be your time. It could be some information. Hey, it's been a few years. Are you curious about your home's new value? The CMA a day concept that Tom Ferry talks about. It's been a few years. Are you curious about how your home's value has changed? That's giving them something. Now, that's a very direct real estate concept, but some of the things that the gifts that Mike does are just simple little things that are reminders that are useful. People will put these up on their wall, on the refrigerator. And once you know I don't have one handy, maybe Mike does. We'll ask him to unmute in a second if he does. But think about the deposits, okay? The last concept I want to talk about with scripts is the one-to-many concept. Okay, now this shouldn't be your only sphere of contacts, but what about Pi Day? We do a reverse pop by. We have a pile of pies and people come to us. Okay, you could also do other events like I've had people do potluck dinners, events at their homes, face painting at the block party where they invite people. So any kind of event where you can invite your sphere, it's a great one-to-many touch of your sphere where you're not just directly saying, "Hey Scott, do you have any referrals for me?" All right. So I gave you a bunch of ideas, guys. Hopefully you can apply some of these, whatever you feel comfortable with applying to your sphere of influence. But the bottom line is get over it. Get over those objections of, well, I'm not comfortable asking the people I know for business. They want to help you. Get over the fact that you feel funny asking for them, asking for help. Okay. Just get over that. We need the help. And the fact of the matter is, other agents are out there doing it. Why not you? 60 to 70% is still the number for sphere of influence. That's all I have for today. I'm going to pause for a second, see if anyone has any quick comments, and also see if by chance Mike has something he can show us on his video screen. Thanks for being here, Scott.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, I do have some of my handouts here. Here's my refrigerator magnet.
Yeah, you're breaking up, Mike, but what he's
Simple
got there
magnet,
is
big
the,
postcard on there. Oh,
yep.
okay. It's just a simple magnet that has measurements on there, measurement conversions. And what's kind of cool about this is, I handed them out at a gun show, and the wives were like, "Oh, this is great," and even the husbands were saying, "This is great," because they're able to come home with a gift for their wife. Also hand out these little bottle openers, can openers, especially out here on the lake. These are great to put on your boat keys because it seems like you always have somebody gets on your boat that brings an imported beer and nobody has a bottle opener. So this bottle opener is being passed around to people that's visiting from out of town. They're asking, "Who's this guy?" It's Mike Pillow Realtor, because I like Apple Valley. So a number of people are touching that. Then I just ordered some of these for children. Um, Being a LifeWise director, LifeWise Academy, I ordered some red ones with LifeWise on there and also have my contact information because, if you're giving mom and dad a gift, you want to have something for the kids. So the kids are going to be going around advertising how Mike Pillow is just the greatest realtor ever. So
Yeah, Mike,
Giving.
we did an event and we had helium balloons. And of course, all the kids dragged their
Hmm.
parents to our booth because they wanted a balloon. Yeah, a
Absolutely.
couple of years ago. Scott, any quick comments before you got to run?
Yeah.
While Scott's unmuting, I'm going to show my pens. Pens are a great, easy gift to give people. And I've had these same pens for months. And every time I grab this pen, I think of the person on it.
Uh, yeah, I've got to run, but I want to add something to what you were saying about being specific, asking for it. You can even get more specific, like, for example, if you know they're in a bowling league and they're uh, real active, let's say at their church or something, you know, uh, you can you can say, you know, is there anybody, oh, for example, in your bowling league, uh, or perhaps that does, you know, the church work with you that is giving some thought to upsizing, downsizing, investing. I think that's one thing we leave out a lot of times is investing in real estate. You know, uh, the, they can't, like you just said, they can't think when you say, "Do you know anybody?" That's too broad. They can't think. They'll say no. But if you narrow it down for them, you have a much better chance of getting something.
Yeah, right on our website, 21mike.com. It's buy, sell, invest. Yep.
Yeah.
Love it,
I
Scott.
got to go.
Yep.
Thanks,
Great
Mike.
session today. Thanks for being here, everybody. 4 more weeks of scripts, so stay tuned. We'll put the YouTube links in, and feel free to join us live or watch the recording. We do this Tuesdays, 11:30 to about 11:50, except when I start a little late. All right, 21mike.com, everybody. Take care.